Okay, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA, today with John Martin Fraser from Ignite MMA, former Eternal Middleweight champ. How are you, bro?
Yeah, good man, how are you?
Yeah, good man. How have you been lately? It's been a little while since we've seen you in action. What's been happening?
Yeah, I fought last December. I ended up picking up an injury and had surgery on my shoulder around January or February. So I spent the first half of the year recovering from that. But that's 100% now. It's back in full swing now.
What was the shoulder injury, man?
I had a labrum tear. I did it in jiu-jitsu. And then, so I had to sew that back together. Bit of a counter thing for the first couple of weeks, I thought it was going to be heal like Wolverine and be back to it in like a month, but it wasn't the case. But no, it was like 5 months, and it was all pretty much 100%. But I think I had about a week or two off after the initial surgery, and then I was training every day, twice a day after that, pretty much, like doing what I could. Obviously, I wasn't hitting the bag and stuff because of the shudder from hitting the bag would play hell with it, but I was just lifting weights, hitting the bike, and I just stayed in shape throughout, But it hasn't been a bad thing. Obviously, it's not fucking ideal, but at the same time, it's been a kind of a blessing because I've just really focused on mobility and strength and conditioning in that time,
Yeah, oh, that's a good thing, man. People don't always know how hectic it is training MMA. The type of thing you're putting your bodies through day in, day out, like multiple times a day. What sort of other sort of things have you worked on or had problems with over the years, man? Any other surgeries and that?
A couple of years ago when I was back in Wales, I ended up having two. I had something small done with my knee. I had to have a clean out. I had like a meniscus issue, but that was like a relatively quick turnaround. But then when I recovered from that, I ended up breaking my hand like the first sparring session back. It was like, I think it was in the space of 12 months I ended up I'd never had a surgery or like an injury really. And I had the first three within the space of 12 to like 15 months or whatever it was. But other than that, I've been like, touch wood, I've been pretty lucky all in all, But it just makes you think about focusing on more like mobility shit you can never get rid of injuries altogether, but you can do what you can to minimize the risk but
I mean, when injury happens, you always just got to think like, what can I do, not what can't I do, right? So you just got to focus on something, improve something, right? There's always something you can do.
Always. There's always something.
Yeah, man. So that fight you just mentioned was Eternal MMA 72 back in 2022, man. Matt Myers, man. The fight started off really well, looked very competitive. The one thing I noticed from you was you had awesome evasion from a few of Matt's big shots and that. Everything was looking good. You shot in nicely as well a couple of times. Everything was looking great. And then he just faked a little bit and did that spinning back kick and landed on the button, right?
Yeah, it was going good until it wasn't. But no, it was a well-timed kick and stuff. I made a wrong read on what he was doing. I thought he was gonna go for that up elbow that he goes for, and then he spun into the back kick. But it is what it is. It was a good kick, and stopped the fight from it. But there was a couple of things I could have done. Obviously, look like if our kick hadn't landed and the fight had gone different, then I'd be thinking, I've done everything great, But looking back in hindsight, I could have done things differently in the fight. But I had an awesome training camp for it. I had an awesome training camp, probably one of the best ones I've had. I was feeling great going into it. I was feeling confident now. It's just one of those things. It's fighting, and sometimes you get caught with a shot, and it is what it is,
Man, isn't it a wild sport, right? On the other fight you had with Matt, it was like you had fuck all training. You a few days notice. You're drinking piss and stuff, and you go in and have a pretty great war between you two. Then you have the proper camp, and you just get caught, man. It's such a wild sport, yeah.
Yeah, it is. You just don't know what's going to happen with it.
Yeah,
you just don't know what's going to happen.
That's it, man.
Go on, sorry.
Sorry, bro. Just going to say, 4th of November, Eternal MMA 81, fighting Brogan Anderson, man. He's a decent opponent to face, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Yeah, he's a solid opponent, good wrestler, good jiu-jitsu. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, man. We talked once before about CKB, how they're doing well, right? They've got a lot of nice fighters coming out of there. Recently had a run of them come to Australia for both Eternal and also UFC. They're doing so well. But Brogan is a good fighter, but he hasn't fought for a long time, right? Like I noticed on his record, he hasn't fought for a couple of years. I think he's had trouble finding opponents and that and other things. But yeah, so that's got to affect someone a bit, right? Not being able to fight for a few years.
Maybe. Like people talk about ring rust and stuff, but I don't know. I don't really read into it too much. Like, I think I'm pretty sure that he'd be training. I don't know. I'm assuming, but I'm pretty sure he'd be training like hell, regardless whether he's had the fight or not. Like, I think if he's had like 3 or 4 years, I don't know when his last fight was. Was it a year ago? Was it a year and a half ago?
Let me have a look. I wrote it down somewhere.
Anyway,
2021 October. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a couple of years, yeah. So, but if he'd had like 2 years where he'd been sitting on the couch not training, I'd say, yeah, that's like a big factor. But I don't think that really plays into it too much. Not for me anyway, Like, yeah, I don't really read into it too much. I think he'd still be training like hell, staying fit, staying in shape. So I think and like he was preparing for Matt in September as well. So he would have had 2 training camps back to back. So I think it's going to be a pretty good version of himself, like,
Yeah. And like you mentioned that he's wrestling based, that seems to be his strategy most of the time. But his camp has a lot of stand up guys, right? Like their strength seems to be their stand up. Obviously, I think there's a new generation coming through that are lots of wrestlers. But obviously the base of like Dan Hooker and Izzy and those guys is stand up, right? So in that time frame that he's been working there, he's definitely would work a lot of stand up with a lot of good guys. So you got to not just think he's a one trick pony, right?
No, exactly. And like even if he was a one trick pony, he's still got a pair of hands and legs the same as everyone else. He can still land a shot. Do you know what I mean? It's not like and like you said, training with real high level strikers like day in day out, he's going to be used to that level. He's going to be used to that defending out, if not like picking up like offensive skills. So I think it's going to be a good fight. Yeah.
So just like between you and Matt before, we mentioned you guys both showed your all-round skills. You could have had a kickboxing fight. You chose to have a grappling match instead last time, or heavily grappling-based MMA fight. So, it could go either way with you guys, right? You could end up having a competitive grappling match or a grappling heavy one, or you could just kickbox. So what do you kind of see the fight playing out like?
I don't know. Just going to see what happens on the night, really. Not really sure. Like, I think... don't know. See where it goes now. Just have to see what happens on the night. Like, I think it could go anywhere, like you said. Yeah, I think whoever gets the front foot and the momentum it could potentially run away from the fight if it's not like an early stoppage.
Yeah. Fair call, man. Hey, anything else been happening? Any changes to your training in this time? Like you've had quite a bit of anything sort of that you added to the regime, or any other treatments or recoveries or anything new, or it's all kind of drifting along like normal?
Yeah, drifting along like normal. I've just been like doing a lot of cardio this camp, and I think like I've had like a lot of trouble with my hips over the years, and just been doing a lot of mobility the last 6 to 9 months. The guy Nick Tim has been helping me out with that, and that's like fixed up. Like I used to have trouble kicking a lot, just the repetition of it. But since doing a lot of mobility, those kind of things have settled down a lot. In terms of training, just same stuff really. Just working hard, like with the boys at Ignite and Ryan Doyle putting me through my paces with striking and stuff. It's nothing too out of the ordinary. I just need to get fit, be the fittest, strongest version of myself.
Yeah, man. And when you mention mobility, what sort of exercises are the key ones that kind of help you, man, out of interest?
Just like a lot more stretching. I've been doing a thing called FRC, is like full range conditioning. That seems to have helped a lot. Just that sort of stuff, and just strengthening my hips in full ranges, Yeah.
When I ask you that, I'm kind of hoping you'll say something like Pilates or something so I can give you some shit, but unfortunately you've not.
No Pilates now. I do like yoga.
Yoga?
Yeah, I do like yoga as well.
You do? I actually, I kind of hate yoga, man. I just can't, I hate that when it starts getting all spiritual and that, man. I just want to kind of do stretching, and it seems to be like, I don't know, it's not for me.
Yeah, that's the mindfulness stuff. I like some of it, but a lot of it can
Yeah,
be a little bit too much, like, you know.
yeah,
But as a workout, it's pretty good.
yeah, that's it, man. I mean, it's a way to get in a group and do some stretching. It can't hurt, right? Man,
Yeah.
so finally, just wanted to ask you, what's your prediction for your fight? Brogan Anderson, 4th of November, Eternal MMA, 81. What do you think is going to go?
Just have my hand raised. I don't care how it goes. Where this, I just see myself having my hand raised. It could be in the 5th round or the 1st. I'm not sure. That's the way I see it going.
Awesome, man. We'll look forward to the fight, man. It's good to see you ready for another one. It's been a little while. So actually for both of you, it's going to be good for both of you to get back in there, man. Looking forward to the fight and best of luck with it, man.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Thank you.